everybody, to Apocaflix Movies and the Berlin cut of Apocaflix now, as we are here on a Tuesday evening, and I am in the hosting chair for this show. Brian, you're going to have to unmute yourself because you muted yourself. I can't do it because the powers that be, because you are a host. There you go.
That's okay, because I swore when you said that. The Berlin cut.
Yeah, we are here. It is the Berlin cut tonight. I am in the hosting chair. Mr. Bartley over here to my left, your right. Allergy season is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. So but
barely I'm holding on.
And we're here obviously to do our review of the Zack Snyder Justice League, which we will be getting to here in just a short bit. We're probably going to hit it within the first 15 minutes. We do have to cover some things. You can see them down there. We're going to cover some things real quick before we get to it. We're going to have the entire show to do so. So everyone who's watching, I know you're like, oh, I'm here for this. We will get to it soon, I promise you. So to stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Jacob, I know you got some allergies, man. I know you're holding back as much as you can for the Snyder cut. But how you doing, man?
Other than, my war with allergies, man, I feel terrible on that end. But other than that, I'm pretty good. I'm excited. I watched the Snyder cut again this morning, so I'm ready to go.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Gio, how you doing, man? How you hanging in there?
Oh man, what a weekend! My weekend started on Thursday.
I know that Falcon the Winter Soldier was great, right?
It was fantastic.
Was it? Oh man,
have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet because of this?
Let's just remove him.
Look, you guys can see my eyes, how glossy they are. But I figured out a short name, Bucky and Sam. There we go.
It's Falcon Soldier.
And Bucky.
It's Falcon Soldier. Come on, guys.
Falcon Soldier. Yeah.
Brian, how you doing, man? It's Tuesday. You hanging in there? Back to work?
Good. I'm very excited to see Jacob, how was moved to tears by this movie, and that's why he's clearly
here.
He's
crying the entire show because this movie.
That's why.
There were a couple moments we'll talk about. Yep.
Day 2 back at work, and I am ready for summer vacation. That's for sure. And Jacob, ironically, the past 2 days I've been bombarded by phone calls of Dream Enrichment trying to get me to work there over the summer.
That is funny.
So I told them to shoot you a phone call.
Maybe we should work together.
Okay, I'm down. But ready to talk this Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, we're played with you. It's actually another Falcon and Winter Soldier review.
There's been so much
for the next 90 minutes.
How perfect is it that on Gio's day, Marvel news drops, and it's like, for like the half second, it's like, should they talk about the Marvel stuff or give?
There's nothing to talk about, man. People have lost interest in Black Widow. There's nothing to talk about.
We go.
I will give you that a little bit. Mm-mm. I am not as excited as when I first came out, just because it's so No,
we're excited, right? I'm excited.
I'm stoked. You know what? I'm probably gonna go see it in theaters and then pay $30 so I can watch it at home the next day.
Oh my god,
you're crazy! And you won't go to Dallas with me? Come on, man.
I will watch it. I will not watch it unless it's in theaters. I'm throwing that out there, though.
It will be.
That's what I'm hoping. But
I mean, spoiler alert: we're going back to the theater a week from tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
The crew, everybody who's watching, the crew is headed back to a private screening of Godzilla versus Kong, baby. A full year since we've been in a movie theater.
It's our private press screening.
They shafted us for Tenet. We are going back as a group,
which comes out on May 1st. Did you see that on HBO?
Yeah, for a private screening of Godzilla vs. Kong, our first movie back in the theater. We're psyched. It's booked. We're ready. And we will have an official review of Godzilla vs. Kong next week after watching it, maybe even outside of the theater. I don't know. We'll figure something out together. But until then, let's go ahead and move the show along here real quick. Let's start off with the segment that we always start off with, and that is the Movie Watching Challenge.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow, it flowed so much better that time.
I was trying to stay quiet because it's supposed to technically stay quiet, but I guess we don't do that. And so I guess I had to put music on it that way everybody shuts up during that.
No, I figured these two might be sniffling, so that's why I went dun 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 dun.
Honestly, like you just feel like compelled to make a music sound like that, Brian, didn't you? Like so did I.
I want to.
Can that be my thing every single time I bring in a different like?
Well, no, I've been scouring the internet for a sound effect that basically like locks the letters into place every time they go.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to find one, but I will find one eventually. But yes, the movie watching challenge. If you don't know what the movie watching challenge is, if this is your first time watching Apocaflix, first of all, thank you. We do a little segment on the show where we challenge each other to watch movies. Obviously, we're not able to watch every single movie that's ever came out, and we want others to watch movies that we want them to watch. And so why not just challenge them to do so? So each week, one person is challenged to watch a movie, and this week was Brian. And the poll was given to the viewers as the inmates ran the prison this past week, and they selected by a very heavy win. And that was
shocking to me.
Beverly Hills Cop was the number one vote by a large margin. And he will be sitting here reviewing that for just a little bit. I believe Keith is the one that picked Beverly Hills Cop, if I'm not mistaken.
It wasn't
four
me.
of us. And so he's not here, unfortunately. So the three of us are going to stay on scene with Brian as he reviews it. Brian, this is one of the greatest comedies of all time. It's Eddie Murphy in his prime. It is considered an all-timer. What did you think?
I thought it was good. I liked it. I will say, whoever told Eddie Murphy his fake laugh is good. Like, he has this laugh that every single...
It's become a trope in his movies.
I'm like, stop doing that. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Rachel. Every time he does it so much too. And I'm just like, stop. Yeah, that. It drove me nuts. And the fact that they kept playing the same song over and over again. Like that, I already forgot the name or the sound it is. It's like a little score. No, I like the movie. Those were the only two things that I was like, stop. Was his little chuckle laugh. And the fact that they use the same like little score over and over again. Other than that, I was not expecting. Can I spoil it or no?
It was in the 80s. Go ahead.
Like 40 years.
Yeah. Okay. Was thrown off, not expecting his friend to get shot in the back of the head right off the bat. I was like, oh, okay. We're taking a darker turn here right now. And I loved how he constantly would end up like in jail and then immediately not do exactly what the cop said and go eventually get thrown back into jail or in custody or whoever. The bananas up the tailpipe.
I was gonna ask. It's so genius.
Yeah, that made me laugh. And then I'm trying to think of some other stuff that was good. Oh my god, the I don't know if you would call him he's not security because the guy that died was security. What would you call him? I don't know what his position is. The front desk guy at
concierge.
The guy at the museum, the art gallery. He was so funny. He needed to have more lines with he needed to have more lines with Eddie Murphy because like every time Eddie Murphy would talk to him, Eddie Murphy would start imitating him. And that character, like side character, was hilarious to me. And the I think his name was Billy, of the cop,
Judge Reinhold.
Reinhold. He was. Yeah, I love
their relationship together is probably one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, because he knows he can't. He has to do the right thing, even if it's the wrong thing. But yeah, overall, it was good. It made me laugh.
Are you interested in watching the next two at all?
It's funny because I'm kind of curious how like it goes after this. So yes, because I'm like, well, he kind of got like banned from Beverly Hills, so now I'm kind of like, how I'm curious where this goes from here. So yeah, so I'm kind of curious a little bit. Not gonna lie, Samir, why are you hating? Do you not like?
No. That's from the movie. It's from the movie.
Oh, I was like, what am I doing?
It's from the movie.
It.
It's from the movie. Yeah.
A stop after the second one. Okay, good to know.
I mean, that goes for a lot of franchises. I think you do have to watch them all because they might eventually do a fourth as well, which they've been talking about it for years. And
to be honest, I would be more interested in watching a now one.
Well, we're currently in the Eddie Murphy the
Renaissance,
or Renaissance, if you want to call it.
Oh my
God, Eddie Renaissance or something. I don't know. He's having this kind of return. So,
oh crap! I forgot where I was just about to go with this. Your Renaissance threw me off. I don't know. It's gone. But yeah, no. Overall, liked it. It was good. Oh, I remember I was complaining to you about how you guys always challenge me to the ones that I have to pay for. It showed up new edition for free on HBO Max on Monday. So I was like,
wow.
Or no,
good for
Sunday.
you.
Sunday. So I was like,
yeah. That's why I was so happy about Atlantis. It was on Disney Plus.
I know.
Well, hey, Brian didn't like Lethal Weapon, so at least he likes Beverly Hills Cop. So
at least he got one of them.
It's funny because I was sitting there going, if I don't like this movie, after apparently Lethal Weapon was such a big deal, they're going to come for me and never let me watch these movies ever again.
We might just challenge you to VOD crap movies for the rest of your life if that's the case.
I mean, I might like it though. So
yeah, if there's one person who's gonna like those, it's Brian.
Yeah.
It's very true. It's very
true. But yeah, good movie, good challenge. That's why I'm throwing it back to Keith.
So Keith, I know that you're not here right now. You probably watch this on playback. Hopefully you like that review, man. I know you probably had some questions. But yes, Brian sent the challenge right back to Keith this week. And Brian, you can reveal the 4 movies that we have selected. And because Keith's not here at the moment, we're just going to do a YouTube poll. So once again, you inmates, you get to control the outcome of what Keith is watching this week. The poll will go up tomorrow morning. So check back on that. You'll have a couple days to vote. But for now, Brian, what is being challenged this week?
Okie dokie. The first movie that Keith is being challenged to is About Time. Second is Batman and Bill. Third is The Guest. And fourth is North by Northwest. I'm glad I didn't choose The Notebook, because if he would have had About Time in The Notebook, he'd be in some tears.
Yeah, so 4 very different movies. 4 very, very different movies. I'm very interested in seeing which wins, because there's not really like a clear winner in this bunch. For me, anyway.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of a coin toss. If I had to put my money, I'm thinking North by Northwest might win.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And just so you guys know, Batman and Bill is a documentary. That's the first time we've ever had a documentary thrown in here, which is really, really cool. So maybe that'll be shot up the ranks a little bit if everybody is very interested in that. But yeah, I would probably say
Batman in it, so
I would probably say that North by Northwest is probably the one that I would say, because it's like a classic. It's a classic.
Wait, so we had About Time, Bill and Batman and Bill,
The
North
Guest.
by Northwest, and The Guest. Oh, okay. So that would be the second time The Guest shows up.
Yes.
Rachel, I feel like you are correct. I know nothing about that movie, but it sounds like
I have heard about that documentary. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, there it is, guys. Again, the poll will go up tomorrow morning. Not much to discuss about that since Keith is not here at the moment. But we'll make sure he knows which ones are being challenged. Make sure you guys get those votes in on which movies you want, or which movie, excuse me, that you would love to see Keith watch this next weekend. All right, before we get to our Snyder Cut review, let me just plug what's coming up next week for us, guys. We are officially doing a Fanboys Watch Along. Our Fanboys Watch Along is happening next Tuesday, next week's show on Tuesday the 30th at 7:00 right here on this channel. We will be doing a watch along to Fanboys. I put up the Prime Video logo there. It's actually not for rent anywhere, so just FYI, we will be actually not for streaming anywhere. It is for renting only. So we will be renting the movie and watching it. But it's a movie that my 4 co-hosts have never seen before. And it is a favorite one of mine. I love it. I think it's so much fun. And obviously being big Star Wars fans, it's kind of the perfect little movie to do a watch along to.
He's been trying to get us to watch this for over a year.
Yeah. He challenged it. He did the same thing right before we went to LA last, was it 2 years ago, I guess?
We were supposed to watch it in LA, but we just never got around to it. It is rent for a higher price at $10. And so we totally understand if you're not able to watch it with us, but just maybe a little enticing a little bit. We're going to be trying to get together for the 5 of us in one room and doing a watch along together. We've talked about doing live watch alongs together for a while, and it kind of being the one show where we get together and do a show in one room together. And we're looking to do a watch along to this next week together for the first time in a very long time, and having now basically one camera with 5 gentlemen on screen. And so we look forward to doing that again next Tuesday, the 30th. You can join us at 7:00 right here doing a watch along to Fanboys. And yeah, so we hope you guys join us for that one. Any anticipation for this movie, guys? Any anticipation?
I'm gonna have to leave right after work by the time to get to your place on time.
I don't live that far. Also, you're making a joke out of it, but these two also live in the same area. So.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I don't even know, maybe 5-10 minutes.
You're sending me to your house in rush hour traffic.
Brian, it takes like 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Relax. It is not that far. It takes me 20 to 30 minutes to get to the movie theater. Come on. Relax.
Just stay the night, Brian, and then
relax.
There you go.
All right, let's get to it, gentlemen, because we obviously have a big thing to talk about tonight, and that is going to be Zack Snyder's Zack Snyder's Justice League is officially here. It came out last Thursday at midnight, and I'm sure all of you who are watching watched it by now, maybe even a few times. And
who stayed up at midnight to watch it?
You watched the whole thing, Brian?
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. I saw Brian's tweet. I was like encouraging him and congratulating him.
I knew I couldn't do like 12 to 4 a.m. There's just no way. So I watched it as soon as I woke up the next day.
Only reason was because I was on spring break last week.
Okay. Yeah. Not bad.
Hey.
All right. So how do we want to do this, guys? Do we just want to kind of like go old school roundtable style and bring up things that we want to talk about, maybe whether they're positive or negative? Because look, it's a 4-hour movie. It's the biggest movie we've ever talked about as far as length and content. So there's a lot to cover. And that's why we have just over an hour to do so. So I think the best way of doing it is essentially just going around the table and letting each of us bring up things that we want to talk about. And then it kind of just adds to the conversation. We can take as much time as we want on that topic and move on from there. So I'm going to let Gio start because this is obviously Gio's thing. He's the one out of the 5 of us who has been championing this for quite a while. And I know he's covered it quite a bit on his own channel as well. But Gio, a quick summary, not 5 minutes long, a quick summary of your thoughts, and then also transition us into something that we can talk about.
So in the world of finance, there's an acronym called ROI, which is return on investment. And my God, is the return great. This 4-hour epic journey doesn't feel like 4 hours. The character backstories are just fantastic. For some characters, it's redemption. For others, it's a return of form. It is miles better than the theatrical 2017 version, which honestly is the only movie this movie should be, and rightfully so, compared to. No Marvel movies, no Sony movies, that 2017 movie, because that's the movie that we were promised. And I've seen this movie about 5 times right now, as of so far, 5 times. Let me tell you, every time it gets sweeter and sweeter. And well done, Zack Snyder. Well done, everyone. Everyone who championed the movie, everybody, especially who gave it a chance. Even if you weren't championing this movie or calling for it, if you gave it a chance and you came out enjoying it, that's ultimately what I hoped, is that you guys would at least enjoy it. And now, with over 200,000 tweets on Twitter, Restore the Snyderverse is trending, and it's a great time. It's a great time to be a comic book movie fan.
Topic.
Oh,
Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
I mean, there's a lot.
You want me to start?
Let's start with the obvious one, the big one for me. Victor Stone, Cyborg, incredible. You know, when you watch that origin sequence, I was hearing things like Dr. Manhattan-esque in 2009's Watchmen, and my goodness, yes, the visuals, the way that the filmmaker takes us into the mind of Cyborg, so that way we can see, we're given an illustration of what goes on in his mind, how he looks at the monetary systems, how he looks at people's bank accounts, what he did for that single mother struggling. My goodness, that was great. I'm sure you guys loved it too as well, right? Or liked it?
Do you want us to wait?
Whoa.
No,
No,
I reply?
I don't want it.
Chime in.
I'm gonna say that I don't want it to be one person talks to one person. I want it to be a full on, like we're sitting at before a movie theater or going to see a movie, like we're all
Applebee's.
talking.
Oh,
I want it to be
free
an open
advertising.
discussion, people interrupting and having conversations, stuff like that. And I will say that I am, and we went in knowing that Snyder had kept saying, and even Ray Fisher as well, that Cyborg was the one who got cut the most. He was the one who got shafted from the 2017 version. And Snyder kept saying, Cyborg, he's the heart of the story. Victor Stone is the heart of the story. He's the heart of the story. I am blown away at the fact that they could possibly think that in 2017 that they could have made the movie without his scenes. It is very, and it's not even just like them cutting the scenes. Look, sometimes when you go into a cutting room floor, things have to be done. But to me, this is the first time I legitimately looked at a movie, and it's because I've seen a different version of it, and this is a very special circumstance. It's a very different circumstance. But I am genuinely blown away at the fact that they think that the 2017 Justice League could have been done without as much footage, or even just about a speck of the footage that Snyder had for Victor Stone. We didn't see the football scene. We didn't see
Eleanor
him going
Stone.
into the. We didn't see him going into the mother box and seeing his mother. We didn't see his mother at all in 2017 version. In fact, I mean, that's a big thing.
Silas was elevated heavily too.
And honestly, like, I know that we all know it now because of this movie and what they've developed in the character, but for those who didn't read the comics and maybe even watch like Teen Titans or Young Justice or any of the animated movies, when you do Darkseid / Mother Box, there is no other important character outside of Cyborg, because he is literally a living form of the Mother Box. That is in the history of DC Comics. That is his character. And to not put that in the movie in 2017 and now seeing the footage fleshed out, it blows me away that they think that they could get away without telling that.
And now, like, people are beginning to understand why Ray Fisher had so many problems with the filmmakers, the producers of that time, and why he was, so vocal out of everybody on the cast. It's because there's some great stuff. There's some great stuff in this cut, and our reactions to it, prove it. Everybody, it was universally, I'll go as far as saying liked. It was universally liked by the people who saw it. The first couple of things that they were mentioning included Cyborg. So yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I have to agree. I have a list of positives. My number one is Cyborg, because basically how Zack Snyder said he was the heart of the film. There's no heart in the first movie, in the original, in the theatrical release. There's not really a source of heart of the film to point to. And I gotta agree. One of my favorite scenes in the entire film is when he's listening to the tape for the first time and his dad's explaining his powers. I loved that scene. I thought it was done very cinematically, honestly. Like when it starts going into his, like it's going into him, it felt very cinematic to me. And there's just so much that dives into it. And to be honest with you guys, I wasn't too familiar with the lore of Cyborg from the comics. I knew that he had a connection to the mother boxes, but I didn't know that much about it. So, and how Wonder Woman tells him, it's going to play on your worst fears and all that. And then we see, at first I didn't realize what was going on, but he went inside of the mother boxes and they were pretending to be him and his parents together. And he has to split them apart in order to split the mother boxes. And I was like, wow. So I can't believe they took that out. That's crazy to me. And so I agree that it's probably the best part of the movie is Cyborg's backstory.
I can't believe that this much of Cyborg was cut out of the original. Like
it was basically everything.
Like it was literally like they tried to wipe him from the movie, essentially. Like compared to what we saw in the 2017 to this one, it's like they added a whole character.
It's night and day.
He was non-existent in 2017. This was a whole new character. Like I was like, they really chopped him out of that movie like as much as they possibly could. It almost seemed like literally almost like they kept the parts that they absolutely could not get rid of, and everything else he was cut out of it. That's what it felt like watching this.
Yep. No football, no flight, none of that. One scene with his father in the 2017 movie. That's it. Yeah.
How did, and I don't remember this, but how did Silas die in the original, the 2017?
He didn't.
Okay, that's so. Obviously, I've only seen it maybe once or twice. I think I watched it a second time at some point, but and I know a lot of people, because Silas is obviously very important to Cyborg as well and to the overall story of what DC does a lot of times. He's a very important character. But I didn't, and I don't know about you guys, but I thought that them deciding, or Snyder deciding to kill him off, was probably a very, very smart thing to do. And this all hinges on the fact that Snyder would have continued on with his movies, obviously. But his story was kind of finished, like, right? It was like a beginning and an end, and it was a very good beginning and the end, because it meant a lot to what the character of Ray Fisher or Victor Stone and Cyborg is. And obviously the reason of him dying, like he just didn't die to die by trying to destroy the mother box. He put an actual tracker on the mother box, which is a big deal.
Yeah. At first I was like, he died for no reason, but then I was like, oh, to track the heating of it. Because they probably never would have found the base. If he didn't do that. And
I thought the same thing. Like I thought he was like trying to destroy it, but then they said, oh no, he heated it up so they could track it. And he's the reason everything kind of went down, which is a big deal. So
yeah. He was elevated hugely, and that was a heartbreaking scene. He just disintegrated because it was so hot in there. And I felt it like that whole thing, the whole story is great.
Yeah, it's whole melting. And if you guys do plan on rewatching it, like he actually attempted to get out. He was going to, but
but Steppenwolf was breaking through. It was too late. It's like,
pick your poison. Do you want to get?
I noticed that the second time
cut by a giant guy, or do you want to So yeah, it fit. And I'll give you all a chance to talk, I promise. But the whole message about fatherhood in this movie, whether it's Victor Stone and his father, or Barry Allen and his father, who's Barry Allen, a close runner-up as far as like standout, in my opinion, or Arthur Curry, and at the end he's like, I got to go visit my father, because he's like thinking about his father even more after witnessing what Cyborg went through. It's so important, and I'm so glad. Say what you want about the 4-hour cut, it really gives its time to explore the themes and messages. So
before we move on, real quick, let me bring in Mr. Keith Barnes because he is here. What's up, Keith?
Keith.
What's happening? I'm here. What's going on?
Hello.
Got my Reverse Flash
buddy?
t-shirts.
There you go.
What's up?
There you go. So we're currently on the topic of Cyborg. We're doing roundtable style. And Gio started us off, and he brought up Victor Stone and Cyborg's character and his arc in the movie. You got any thoughts on this one?
Well, listen, I can see why Ray Fisher pissed off from what happened before, because this one's way more fleshed out, way more. You actually get to see the guy. He actually got to see a performance from the guy. Like, to me, Gio and I talked about it the other day, but just that first of all, we got the football game finally. My only issue is that it wasn't Gotham versus Metropolis. Should have been Gotham versus Metropolis, but
Dude, trivia.
no, I love this. Really,
I know.
Yeah, you
Playing.
all
Who's Gotham
Wisconsin.
playing? Don't say anything, Ryan. Hold on. Who's
Wisconsin.
Gotham playing?
the Badgers.
Green Bay.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, a very slow Wisconsin Badger all-ring offense. But anyway, no. Yeah, that was a good scene. Actually, very well shot football scene, actually, for such a short, moment in that movie. But yeah, man, I love the moment when he looked up and saw the empty seat. His dad wasn't there, and the ride home in the car with his mom. Just when that shot of him with the tears in his eyes, man, that was really that was good stuff, man. You really get a sense of why he was cast. And yeah, it was nice to see him get to show what he can do a little bit in this movie. It's too bad we won't see him anymore. But I liked all the Cyborg stuff a lot. It was really, really good.
All right, let's just continue around the circle. I'll go to Brian next. Brian, you got something you want to bring up?
So do you want me to say if I liked it?
Oh
or
yeah,
not?
quick summary. Quick. I'll emphasize again. Quick summary.
Why
And
you?
then
I'm
talk.
not Geo. You don't have to tell me.
Well, I
Chris.
had to emphasize again because Gio ran on for like 6 minutes.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I wouldn't have stayed up from 12 in the morning to 4 nonstop watching it.
Nice.
So it kept my entertainment the whole way through. The one thing that I was like, okay, come on, hurry up just a little bit, was the singing, like the singing, like the slow motion singings that they do, like
when they were at the small town with Aquaman.
yeah, like when the weird lady's sniffing his shirt. But I mean, granted, a lot of people probably would sniff Jason Momoa's shirt.
Yeah, Brian. I'd say people would.
I mean,
do that.
I'd understand a sniff, but I'm not going to start singing the song because I got the chance to sniff Jason Momoa's shirt. But no, that was just a joke.
What a bad joke. No, I'm just kidding.
Insensitive.
But there was a couple things that I was kind of confused with, and I don't know if it's just because I didn't hear it or not, but are there mother boxes on other planets? I know
Those are
Chuck,
the only ones.
but this is in DC. There are more than
There's only
There's
three.
a whole bunch of them.
Well,
In the comics, there's
what
a lot
about
of them,
in the
but-
multiverse?
Oh,
I
in
don't know.
in the multiverse, but yeah, I mean, in this universe, there's only the 3.
okay,
Yeah,
because
I would say so. Yeah.
because when they, and I know Kalinowski and Roxy explained
They're
it, and but
They're like iPhones.
yeah, so I was kind of when I was listening to it, I was kind of like, are they saying that each planet has their own mother boxes, and that's how they travel? I didn't even realize that the I keep wanting to call it the boob tube. The boom tube was from the mother box. Like, that's the mother box's whole point of kind of existing.
That was from Asgard. Let's be real.
Okay, sure. The one thing I would have liked more explanation about, because I didn't understand it until a few days ago when Roxy and Mike explained it, is the anti-life equation. I didn't, as someone that doesn't, I had never heard of that before. Like I know like the basics of DC characters and stuff, but like when we step into like dark side territory, I don't know that stuff. So like, if he has that, is that like it's a done deal for everyone in the world? Like
everyone, everywhere.
Pretty much.
So like that, and yeah, I don't know. I think that was just the one thing that I kind of was like, I would have rather them spent more time explaining that than.
Well, and the problem is that's just a result of what we're going to get with this film, is that the movie was made to be a continuation of two other movies. And so that's the problem we're going to run into is, with a couple things, is it's a result of it's being introduced, but now we don't have these other movies to go off of that were being planned to explain all that. Like for example, something that we'll probably get to is Darkseid himself, right? Like he was being set up to be the big bad in the second movie, but we might not ever get that second movie, so this might be the only time that we ever see him.
Yeah, so that was my only like, where that literally was like pretty much my only real thing that I was just like, I wish you would have done a little bit more to that, because for someone like me, I had never heard of that before. So like, it's kind of cool for me because I mean, for comics, for the most part, like I know a good chunk, but like learning something new, I would have liked to learn a little bit more about that, because this could just be me being stupid and naive. I didn't realize that, and this wasn't until Mike said it on Alex's show, that the reason he's controlling Superman in the nightmare stuff is because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought like he was under some brainwash.
It's that. Oh, but they didn't communicate that in the movie, though. That's your point.
Yeah, like that. I didn't know that until after someone told me. Like the whole time I was wondering, why is Superman bad now in these nightmare sequences? And that could be just me. Maybe I missed something, but
Lois Lane.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was her.
That doesn't mean that he's gonna obey Darkseid, though, just because she's dead.
It's that plus the anti-life equation. You know, when you lose Lois Lane, what is he in Batman v Superman? He says, "You are my world," and once you lose that, he loses the will to fight the anti-life the equation and Darkseid. And yeah, to your both of your guys' points, they could have done a better job. There's actually Desaad. All right, so Steppenwolf was actually explaining the anti-life equation, but Desaad cuts him off and is like, "We've heard the story, this and that." And I was just like, "Ooh,
oh wow!"
You could have actually maybe there is actually a longer cut of the movie.
And honestly, we're talking about something that they showed in a fake scene, like a hypothetical scene, right? Like this is what could happen in the future if things go wrong. So. Well, it's not really like.
But we also
in the real story.
We also saw it in the flashback when they fought Darkseid, which is the big deal. And to answer Rachel's question real quick, no, he did not have it. The anti-life equation is on Earth.
See, that's okay. See,
it's on Earth, and he found it.
Yeah.
Brian,
he found it,
but then he got his ass beat
when he went to go destroy Earth all those years ago when he fought the Amazons, Atlantis, the old gods, men, all that stuff. He found it, and that's what he was fighting them for, to get the anti-life equation.
So
and that's what he was going back for. It's something that he needed to search out instead of he didn't have it the entire time.
So I'm with Rachel. I thought
Brian,
he until the end, I thought he had it, but he needed the mother boxes. That's like, I thought he found that and then just got defeated, but left the mother boxes and that's what he needed to come back to get to make the
That's-
whole
yeah.
shebang work. That's what I understood until it was explained to me in a whole different way. So I would say that was my only real complaint about this movie was I was confused in that aspect because I didn't get like a full on explanation, which I mean, if at this point you're not making another movie, I can understand it doesn't need to like make absolutely
Doesn't
perfect sense.
Real
But-
quick, Gio, and explain, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the mother boxes and the anti-life equation are two completely separate things, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
The mother boxes are like these highly, highly advanced autonomous computers.
They're an alien tech that are alive, technically, what they call them.
And it's so advanced that you would think in the movie they say you would think it's sorcery.
Well,
Yeah,
Wonder
the
Woman
anti-life
says
equation.
it's science so advanced you would think it's sorcery.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Listen to the guy with the degree. Congrats, by the way. Hey, you
Autonomous
got your
Hey,
degree.
hey.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, good job, Jacob. Well done, sir. Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Real quick, to Chuck's question, this is something good to bring up.
That's where I was going to go.
That's
next.
what. That's the question I had. Yes, that was my. When Gio and I talked the other day. That's what I was asking too.
From what I got from my understanding, and this is obviously is just my opinion, he doesn't know what planets are called. He's just jumping to universes and solar systems and destroying places.
I had this question too, and I do
And
want to address it real quick.
I just think that obviously he's like he already said he's been killing 100,000 worlds, and this is just another world that he came across that he wants to destroy. And so I don't think he knows where it is, where it came from. He's just kind of finding the worlds and destroying them back in that flashback. But someone else might have had a different interpretation.
Here's my only
go
gripe
ahead.
with that explanation is, Jake, I'm going to use you as a comparison. You've played thousands and thousands of baseball games, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can probably remember which ones whooped your ass that pissed you the hell off because of a certain thing.
Well,
right?
he's going to remember the people, but he might not know exactly where the world is. What I'm saying, because like they said in the flashback, Wonder Woman's explaining. She goes, all of a sudden, an armada shows up in the sky, like they had jumped there, not like they traveled, like they had jumped.
Yeah.
So they don't exactly know where it is, how they got there. They just jumped somewhere and they found a world.
Yeah, I mean, like
But
this wasn't.
But if it was the place where you, to go with Brian's baseball analogy, if it's the place where you got the worst injury you've ever had, I think you might remember that one though, right?
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna remember, but again, we're talking about roads on Earth and space travel, guys.
So
We're
look,
talking
if
like
their technology
God
is
of the
so
world.
advanced, they know exactly where that planet
can't
was.
remember.
Their
Right.
technology is
Like,
a million
and by
more
the way,
times advanced than ours.
boxes are there.
And
Well, he was
when
laying
they're
there with that
leaving,
axe on his shoulder.
he's not gonna care what it's called. He's just gonna go up there and whoop that ass.
No, here's
dude,
my
he got his ass whooped.
Steppenwolf knows that the Amazons and the Atlanteans are there. He fought Amazons and Atlanteans in that battle. So to me, that was a little
He
plot
got
hole,
murked
in my opinion.
in that battle.
Zeus
I was
and Ares.
Dark Side.
Man.
Yeah,
I was-
Ares whooped his ass.
I was shocked that Warner Brothers allowed Darkseid to get an ass whooping that bad in that movie.
He was Euxis.
Still, I was like, oh my god, they worked him, and that part caught me off guard.
It took a lot. I'm glad it was Ares though. That was cool.
Yeah, but I mean,
Very cool.
the whole forgetting the planet thing is, to me, that's
I don't
just
know.
kind of funny.
I don't know about that.
It's
Yeah.
funny. Like, it wasn't enough to like.
I love
It's.
that I'm the one defending the movie right now.
I'm not. I don't care
Well,
about
I mean,
it either
it's,
way.
it's one
No,
little
I'm
part.
just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you guys are bad. Relax. I'm just saying I'm being the optimistic one, where you guys are like,
Sure.
well.
I just think it's funny
Hey,
because
I'm loving
Hey.
it. I'm loving it, man. This is
Listen,
awesome.
Gio and I talked. Gio said the same thing. He's like, hey, he just forgot. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess.
Nah, there's no
Passed
way they
out in
forgot.
the ship after he got carried. He passed out, and then he woke up, and he's back in
Sure.
Apocalypse.
Maybe
Maybe he got a
Did you guys
traumatic
write that
brain
down?
injury from Ares' axe, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
Seriously, no.
I will
Maybe.
say
That's legit.
Steppenwolf knew a lot about Amazonians. He knows a lot about that planet and where they're
Well,
from.
because that dude was banished and he's probably been, doing some Tinder stuff on the side or something. I don't know.
Dude, the
Maybe.
fact that he had to conquer 50,000 more worlds, I was like, God damn,
Right.
you
He had to
you
do
must-
what was it, 100,000 worlds total to get back
No.
in His grace?
he needed 50 total.
Well,
I think
50,000 more, so I imagine
Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah. That whole him losing track of the anti-life planet, like that didn't bother me enough to like care. Like I was just if anything, it just made me kind of laugh, thinking like the biggest bad character is like, oh shit, where did I leave this? Like,
Where was that?
like
Yeah,
it's just kind of fun. It's just kind of funny to think.
All right, before we spend too much time on that, because we have a lot to talk about, Keith, I'm going to go to you next, man. Jacob, I'm going to go to you next. You think of one as well. What is one topic, Keith, that you would like to bring up for the whole crew to talk?
Ooh, okay. Let's see. Still got my notes from where are we at here? Bruce Wayne. We just talked about the flashback battle. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Okay, I don't know if you guys hit on. Did you guys talk about the Flash yet? Barry Allen. Have we gotten into him yet?
Nope.
Okay. I found him not as annoying, but still a little annoying, but not quite as much, right?
I'm with you.
I think it's just.
I'm with you.
I think it's just, and again, like G and I talked about it. It's just it's a different take on the character. I understand that. That's fine. But I'm just not a huge fan of Ezra Miller so far as Barry Allen. Just not that much. Like I said, it was a lot better in this one. A lot of the super annoying, quippy stuff from everyone was cut out of this movie, which was great. This movie, and with that, I found it still. I think it was funnier in that way, like because it wasn't like outwardly trying to be funny. It was just more. It felt more natural. Yeah. So, but I still found him a little annoying. But I loved obviously the intro scene at the pet store with Iris, and I thought that was very awesome.
That's Keith.
Keith, plug your mic in and out again real quick. It's beeping.
Damn it, Barry.
Okay. We good? Oh no.
It's still buzzing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ah.
That came out of nowhere, and it's never happened before.
Yeah. Well, while Keith tries
hold on. I'll talk while Keith's doing this, but you guys are freaking crazy. First of all, I have to say, I separate outside stuff out of the movie with the actors on screen, okay? I love Barry Allen in this movie. I liked him in the first movie, actually, but I really like Ezra Miller in this movie, honestly. It works for me because everybody else is so just the same. Everybody else talks low tone, is grim, and he adds such a nice balance to that, in my opinion. And to me, I don't know how old they say he is in this. Like, he's not Spider-Man's age.
I would say he's
like 22, maybe.
I would say somewhere between 18 and 20.
Because he's going to college, right?
Yeah.
So
he was going to college.
Between 18 and 22. To me, he's like a kid. Like, imagine a kid that age who's like obsessed with a lot Batman and Superman and stuff, and then finally gets to be a superhero and work with them. I think it fits. And they took out some of the jokes that didn't work from the 2017 version, obviously.
Crunch.
But his tone, like the style of the character, is still the same because they used footage that was shot by Zack Snyder as well. So to me, Barry Allen, and it's not even just the comedy. To me, and I'll just say, since we're talking about Flash, my favorite scene in the whole entire movie is when Flash time travels at the end of the film to save them. I thought that was done beautifully. And
you said your favorite scene in the whole movie?
Yep, that's my favorite scene in the whole movie, when he's like when well, at first I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, did they just lose?
The second that it started happening, I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, well, I was like, did they just lose? And then I was like, what is going on? And then like, did he time travel right away? Or did he phase through the blast?
No, he stopped time by moving faster. He slowed time down. That way he could speed back up.
But either way, to me, like, maybe the humor doesn't work for you guys, but when he's like, come on, Barry Hill, he's like, come on, you got to go faster than the speed of light. You got to break the rule. Like, I loved all of that. So to me,
that part didn't bother me.
The Flash worked for me. I like him.
I'm more in line with what Keith was saying, that, you know, and this is maybe just me from the beginning, but I'm a big Flash guy. Flash and Aquaman were always my two favorite DC characters. Obviously, I love Batman and Supes, but so I was very particular on the type of person that I really wanted to play Barry.
Well, and that's a fair point, and I'm okay with that criticism. Like, that's a fair point.
And so I've never been able to like really wrap my head around Ezra Miller playing the character, but I also have never really been like the biggest fan. Okay, no buzzing. I think we're good. I've never really been like the biggest fan of his portrayal and the adaptation of this specific Barry Allen, and it did help. The cutting out of the certain jokes in this movie definitely helped, because the Justice League 2017 was by far the most we ever saw of him. Right, we saw snippets of him in other stuff, but there were once the origin part was over, I was pretty okay with him. I personally didn't really care for the whole origin part. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know. Excuse me. I don't even think you can call it an origin. How did he get his powers? It was never explained.
Well, so
they
might have done that they might do that in the Flash movie, which is fair. But as far as like his origin in this movie of him saving Iris West, for me, I didn't really care much for the scene. I don't know about you guys. Like, it was a fine scene.
You didn't like the catching?
That was a beautiful scene.
I could have done without the grabbing of the wiener, but
but he fed it to the dogs. You don't.
Yeah, I get that part, but like, I didn't need a slow motion grab of the wiener and put in my pocket. Like, he could have just like eventually fallen into the dog or something.
Can I ask you guys something? What was the point? What was the point of that scene? What did it do for the movie?
I think it was love at first
their
sight
own
scene.
It was their own Quicksilver scene. Every time there's a speedster, they're trying to do the Quicksilver thing
in the movie.
So Gio, look, it's a fair criticism. Like, that's fine. If Jacob has, like, that's fine. But what I'm saying personally is, like, what does it do for me as I'm watching the movie? For me, it didn't do, and this is, I think this is a trope that I have with Zack Snyder in general, or like just a criticism in general. And it again, this is coming from me being a big Flash fan. I don't want every single moment that I'm watching the Flash to be in slow motion.
Yeah,
I don't.
I agree with that.
That's fair.
I want to see him sped up doing stuff, and we saw that in the movie. That's fine. We saw that in the movie. But that entire sequence was in slow motion, and that's probably what took me out of it. If they did the window thing, and he did the window thing in slow motion, then he saved her, and then we saw the end, like, I would be pumped. I'd be pumped. I don't need to see the whole catching and everything, because I know exactly what's happening. What's happening.
Well, did they ever show him using his speed not slowed down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
I'm trying to think.
In the final battle, he was doing a bunch of stuff.
That part. Yeah.
And
when the
parademon
was in the tunnel, when the parademon was shooting at him, he was whipping around.
Yeah. There was a bunch of times where he was, but there's also a lot, and I understand what they're doing. Like, I get it. He's super fast. Everyone around him is super slow. I get it. But I don't need every single major moment that the Flash has to be in slow motion. And that's just my opinion. Even if it was half and half, that'd be cool. But it's like 90 slow motion, 10% fast. Which I agree with you on that, Jake. That stood out to me. But Keith is the one who brought up Barry Allen. Keith, you were cut off.
Yes.
Brought up the
well. Listen, by the time you get to the end, though, with all that said, he was awesome. I love what he did at the end of the movie. I thought it was incredible. So obviously taking out the stuff with the I just realized they didn't do the race. I guess that race was a Whedon thing. The race with him and Superman.
Absolutely, that was a Whedon thing.
Oh man, I just thought about that. I actually didn't mind. I thought that was good, but oh well. But
so real quick, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was
fit.
actually a behind the scenes photo that came out of the filming of that, and Henry Cavill was in the suit with the Mission Impossible mustache.
I've seen that.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh wow. 2017 is coming back to me now. Remember the family in the house and all that?
Yes,
Wow.
there was none of that. None of that.
That was unnecessary.
So good.
Yeah.
You know what they took out also was Barry Allen falling on top of Wonder Woman.
Of course.
Which is a Whedon thing, because I watched Age of Ultron the other day, and guess who falls on top of Scarlet Witch?
Does it on top of Natasha. Yep.
Yeah.
Perv.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So is that everything that we want to say on the Flash?
Well, hopefully, and Gio, like I said, we talked about this, and I guess you said, Gio, I watched your video about Iris West, Kiersey, what's her name?
Kiersey Clemons.
Kiersey Clemons,
yeah. She's gonna be in Flashpoint. So, how much of this movie will be canon? I think they're saying it won't be, but I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? We don't know.
Snyder's movie's not in canon, but we're gonna take Iris West. We're gonna take your Aquaman, your
Right.
Wonder Woman, your Batman, your Superman. We're gonna take it all.
Well, Wonder Woman appeared in Wonder Woman first, right?
No,
but no Billy
v
Crudup,
Superman. But Batman v Superman is canon, though.
Yeah. Well,
Everything
we'll
but
see.
Snyder Cut is canon.
I need them to come out and say that that's canon. Now I don't
Well,
know.
no, I think Man of Steel and BVS are. I mean, why would they ever say the 2017 version's canon?
Because it's theatrically released.
Because they were proven
right.
wrong.
Before we move on, I do want to bring up a comment. He makes a good point here from spacing llamas. I think the whole point of the Iris West scene was to introduce Barry, his personality, how his powers work, and a future love interest. Which
sure. When I said that, I thought about it, and the thing for me, if you don't really know about the Flash, like if you're a first time viewer of the Flash, and you're like, okay, we know he's fast, but how do his powers work? I guess that's a good way to introduce. Here's how his powers work, and that's what we're going to see throughout the rest of the movie. I did like how they showed his shoes tear up, though. That was cool because that would happen if he was wearing regular shoes. That would happen.
It happened to Zion.
Well, like I said, he's burning through a lot of
that.
shoes. Then, if that's the case,
yeah, I'm not. I wasn't a fan of that personally, but that's just me.
But that's what would happen though.
But
yes,
okay, that's fine. But in every comic book iteration of all time, they've never shown Barry Allen's shoes bursting.
Hey, that's that attention to detail from Snyder.
That's why he's a great filmmaker. Okay, let's move on. Jacob, you're up next. What topic do you want to bring up, sir?
Well, Keith stole mine. But I mean, I'll just talk about the action overall is better in this one. Even though the Wonder Woman scene, when we first see her, is basically the same scene, it has way more stuff in it. How is it not basically the same thing? She rescues them from. She defeats the guys, the henchmen, and rescues them. That's it. But I'm telling you, the scene is better. Like they elevated it. They added the action was different. Like as soon as Wonder Woman busts in there, she starts knocking guys over. And I just noticed that even in scenes that we'd already seen, they improved the action in. And overall, just even like the final battle and everything action wise really stood out to me. I mean, it's, you have to go through each scene and say, okay, what was new? What was changed? But like overall, I really thought the action was improved.
It was really, and this is a good thing. So nobody come after me, please. It was aggressive.
What?
It was aggressive, which I really enjoyed.
Oh,
it was very, very aggressive. Not in the fact of like, yes, like heads were cut and like Steppenwolf's ear or whatever you want to call the side piece of his head was lasered off like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the pack full of punch that was brought into these actions.
I was just going to say the Amazons versus Steppenwolf
Yeah, like all of it from the very
That-
beginning, and every action scene, whether it was small or big, it definitely had that Zack Snyder touch. Like it absolutely had that Zack Snyder touch. And the thing that I will say though is that I haven't felt action from Zack Snyder like this since 300. This was the first time I felt this type of aggressive, hard to the nose, ground and pound action from Snyder since 300, and I really
Agreed.
enjoyed it. In just from the moments of like, Batman stuff to the stuff where it's humanized with him to literally feeling Superman destroy someone through the screen, right? Like that's when you feel Superman punch or when you watch him punch, you want to literally feel it as you're watching it. And I could feel him knocking Steppenwolf's ugly ass face in. So,
Out of Steppenwolf.
yeah, it was great. Look, Zack Snyder, that's always always what he's been good at. He's always been good at that side of filmmaking. He's been great at choreographing action and making the action look good. And I really appreciate that he did it even more so in this movie, because no matter how much I have criticized DC and like wondered and talked about it, I've always read DC comics. Like I've wanted to see a Justice League movie on screen. And a lot of that comes down to action. We always talk about it in comic movies. How is the action? How does this translate on the screen? It translated really good. And that has to do with Aquaman as well. His action, the scene, like we saw it in the 2017 version of him throwing his trident. We didn't see the back end of that. We saw that full scene play out where he threw two parademons, not one, just two of them. And then he like chopped one in half,
and then smacks another one against the wall.
It's just like cool. It's aggressive. It's awesome.
And he
it's
stabbed Steppenwolf in the
again. That's great too. It was great. And then obviously like Wonder Woman cutting Steppenwolf's head off.
Yeah,
like, cool.
and that's
I
part of the
love it.
action.
Whoa.
And I love that intense action and brutal action. It's like, here's your first big villain of the first Justice League movie. Let's cut off his head. Boom, and just like
and Steppenwolf
send him to. Yeah, like here's your boy. Like,
Darkseid.
what are you gonna do now? And it's like, I don't know about you guys, but I was like, Darkseid could maybe step through the portal and fight them right now, but he's like, nah, I'll wait, and just like shuts the portal. He's like, I don't want none of Superman right now.
That's exactly right. Because honestly, he could have like, and I was listening to somebody that mentioned this. I went, oh, that's true, because he could have fired. And I don't know how the Omega Beams work in the movies. But in the comics, like that would be a Omega Beam situation, and they'd all be finished.
Wait, well, Keith, we saw them. Do you remember seeing them?
Oh yeah,
no,
briefly.
he's saying he could have the.
He could have done it right then. And there's no because the Flash can't even get away from the Omega Beams, like in the comics. Like there's nothing you can do. Like if they knew what he could really do, they wouldn't be sitting there staring at him or something. It's like
I don't think
they wouldn't
he's
be
at
having to
that
stare
point
off
yet,
with him.
The
Probably
Omega
not.
Beams
Yeah, probably not.
The Omega Beams confuse me as a person that doesn't
The
understand.
Omega Beams are very similar to Yondu's arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly
but
right.
Very similar.
they're
They
so
can travel across the
spastic.
whole
They
universe.
like go all
Yeah.
over the
But
place.
that's what Yondu's arrow can do. He just whistles it around.
Right.
Wait, so
Right.
Darkseid could be like sitting on Apocalypse and be like, I want to kill somebody on Earth, and just go and kill them.
And there's
Yeah.
some versions he
comics?
can, yes.
Wow,
Yeah, they're strong as hell, man.
that's like.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like Superman could shoot it just straight, but they could just shoot it anywhere. That's crazy.
He can
But
draw
no,
the coolest thing in the sand on the beach for his love. I don't know.
I took it like Darkseid's like, I have too much work to do. Like, I don't want to fight them right now. And he just closed the portal.
Nah, dude, that dude was scared.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
A little scared.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like
He would have lost.
he was scared at that point.
All I know
Yeah.
is
I
that
don't know.
they missed a huge opportunity for Granny Goodness to come in there and whoop some ass.
Oh my God. We
And
were planning on it for the sequel, Brian.
I don't
Yeah.
think they wanted to like even
her
reveal
ass
who the
just sat on
actress
the
was.
side. I was so mad. I'm like, I need to hear Darkseid go, Granny Goodness, go, or something. And like, I was so mad.
Doesn't it make you want
Well,
a sequel,
we-
Brian?
I mean, listen,
he-
it remains to be seen if we still get New Gods, Ava DuVernay's New Gods. I know G and I briefly talked about it, and we're like, who knows? But
Why is she a part of New Gods?
Granny Goodness?
yes,
I don't know.
Absolutely.
yeah, no, yeah, she's very much part of it. Yeah, so hopefully they still make that.
Darkseid, Assad.
They definitely are making that because didn't she just announce a cast member for her movie?
No, that's for something else.
Oh,
Hmm.
Is it?
So let's go around the table real quick before we move on. What is everyone's favorite?
That was my
action scene?
biggest gripe, by the way, that Granny Goodness didn't get any action.
Oh my god. Favorite action scene. Jacob, you start us off.
I mean, Superman beating Steppenwolf's ass and then leading it to them killing him, like just chopping his head off straight up. I loved it.
Gio?
Yeah.
Sorry, I took the big
You
one.
have to say one.
You get one.
I took the big one.
One.
One or none. One or none.
Okay, I'm gonna go with one that I saw a previs of like a couple years ago, and it looked even better when it happened. It's a moment where Mira is getting choked, and she's sucking all the water out of.
Oh, that
blood.
was cool.
It's just like,
Yes.
hey, people talk about Scarlet Witch would have killed Thanos. She would have killed Steppenwolf easily. You saw blood coming out of there and water.
I think she was trying to take all the water out of his brain and just crush his brain.
Yeah, you saw blood, water.
She's taking all the moisture out of the situation.
Yep.
Brian, what about you?
Easily the first time Darkseid tried to take over the world.
Flashback.
Oh yeah. Like
how do you
Yeah,
I mean,
CSJL.
Yes.
the
No,
Age
stop
of
it.
Heroes scene,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is amazing too.
I've said this to Jake and multiple other people. If he made a whole entire movie dedicated to just that, I'd watch it.
You know,
and
you know what's
that
funny? I thought
fits
about
Zack
this.
Snyder's styles very well.
I
too.
thought about this. So yes, but you make Darkseid the main character. It's from Darkseid.
Yeah, why not? Who's the actor who plays Zeus? Who is that guy?
I think
I
he's
know,
a
right? Who was
fighter. I read, and he's yoked. as
It would make sense if he's a fighter. It makes sense.
Big
but
dude.
yeah, that scene's not even.
Come on, Gio, you're supposed to have this offhand, man. Let's go.
I'm trying. Okay, I got everybody else. Hold on.
Let's go.
Hold on.
I'm wondering if they ever bring Zeus back, if that actor would play him.
Why not? He
Curious.
looks like Zeus.
I mean,
Keith, real quick,
if he can act.
what about you? Favorite action scene?
Okay, well, love Jacobs. I would agree with that. But I'm gonna go with the Themyscira attack because it was much better. And
Sergey
and
Constant. Sorry.
okay, big Russian guy.
You sure it's not Sergey?
Sergey. Yeah, right.
Sergey.
Oh, he's a model. This guy's
He's a model.
Is he really?
Of course.
I mean,
Oh, he
Zeus has
can't
to be the
act.
best we can
Okay.
do in the universe, right?
Yeah, no, they gotta get an actor.
I mean,
They get the guy
Let
that
me
played
put it-
Drago's son.
let me put it this way. I understand why Hippolyta wanted to bang him. Just saying.
But
Gio, I almost got you on that one.
Hey, we all know Zeus gets around.
Yeah, I think for me. Keith, go ahead. Sorry, Keith, go ahead.
oh, just really quick, I was gonna say we talked about this Saturday, Gio and I. That scene was a lot better, played a lot better in this one, obviously, like everything else. But it made sense. I was asking, like, why were they just like waiting for him to show up when the box started activated? And then there was a second where it did shut down. And Gio reminded me of that, and I went back and watched it. And okay, but I think that I was listening to, can't remember what I was listening to. And somebody pointed this out, and it made sense. It made me appreciate the scene more. It was like they weren't prepared for that fight. Like they were just kind of like they were going to seal whoever came through there. They're going to seal him in and then destroy that building and sink it into the ocean. They weren't
Man,
ready
it broke
for
my
whoever.
heart when all those Amazonians went down in that thing, man.
No, yeah, it's tough, right? Yeah.
Oh no, all those beautiful women.
But they weren't ready for anybody to escape from that and have to fight him. So it kind of made more sense, and I appreciated that scene a little more.
I will say the scene, just the shots of those ginormous muscular women smashing the
that's cool.
pillars.
Abs. Wow.
Like
Yeah, right.
to me, like Jake said, it was very 300-esque. That was the most 300-esque of the whole entire part of the movie for me, was when those women were swinging those axes and hitting the beams and it collapsing, and then them holding it for Hippolyta. That part
To get
was
out,
I was
yeah.
like, I'm watching 300, which made me think like, damn, like I would not mind him doing the Amazonian movie. Like
Yes.
if he
I
did like
completely
a
agree.
300, if he did it like 300 style, I'd be second in line to Geo.
Yeah.
We'll stand side by side, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
So we're both.
So almost every major action scene has been mentioned. I do think that as a fan, the best is probably the flashback, the fight for the world, the Age of Hero. But for me, the moment that I pretty much like jumped out of my couch and like geeked out about the most was the Superman moment. When he just shows up and he's absolutely just in full on. And the reason why, and that's the one thing that I wanted to bring up was Superman, and we'll get to him, and it's kind of a segue. But we know that from Man of Steel to BVS to now, Snyder has been evolving Clark Kent, right? He's been evolving the Superman that he started with to becoming the Superman that we've all known and loved for so long. That was the Superman that's the Christopher Reeve Superman in modern day action right there.
Yes.
That's the Superman. That's the Clark Kent, the classic character. When he shows up in that black suit and he says, "Not impressed," that is Superman.
And the freeze
that is absolutely
he breaks the
Superman
axe
in full just character mode. We know that he's been building to this moment, and to finally see his Superman evolved on screen fully, and to see Henry Cavill embrace that character finally, as a longtime fan, as someone who has wanted it for so long, it was so well done. I also think that all the scenes with Superman when he was risen, brought back to life, it was just a whole different perspective from what we saw in the 2017 version. The story was totally different. The fight was very similar between the characters, but the whole meaning and the story was completely different and separate from what we saw in that movie in 2017. I thought Superman was handled brilliantly, and at the core of the film, Superman is Zack Snyder's. That's what Zack Snyder is all about. Is Superman. Did Man of Steel, did BVS, did Justice League. He's been worrying about this character for so many years, and it was really cool to finally see him kind of evolve that character on screen.
And it was Henry Cavill who was at the watch along when it was announced, Snyder Cut of last year, which you saw as well, Jake. But how about when his fathers are talking to him and Pa Kent finally says, "Fly, son." Like boom.
Yeah, that moment where he does jump up for the first time was dope as shit.
And then he embraces the
Listen,
sun. It's like
when I was watching that, I didn't put it in the chat. I messaged Gio. You tell him I messaged you right away, and I was like, "Dude, that's the moment where I was like, you know what? I'm in. I'm a completely 180. I'm on board. I'm in. I'm right there with you.
Waiting.
That was awesome.
I keep really waiting for Gio to start crying because of this.
No, honestly, like I won't lie to you guys. There were a couple times when I got up, especially during the end credits when they sing Hallelujah and it says "For Autumn," and you just I find myself getting emotional because of not just.
I'm not talking about crying from the movie. I'm talking about crying because we're actually saying good things about Zack Snyder's.
I thought about this too. I was like, this is going to be a review on like anything that we've ever done in the past, because like it's usually like me and maybe like one or two of you, like, and the other one is like kind of like on the fence. It's just like we're all doing it, and
Andy,
we're all in. This is a arc over 3 movies, hopefully 5, but now you see from Man of Steel to now the evolution, the character arc of Henry Cavill. And how about Ben Affleck? Faith, Alfred, Faith, Bruce Wayne. Like that is
Jeremy Irons was fantastic, by the way.
Jeremy Irons.
I need an Alfred movie with just Alfred drinking whiskey, fixing a car. That's all I want.
Ben Affleck and Jeremy Irons are such good Bruce and
I love when they walk into I think they're in the Batcave, and then he's like, "This is Alfred. I work for him." And then Aquaman's like, "Badass Alfred." I love that.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on from the subject, and Gio, I know I'm interrupting, but I have to say it when it's on my mind.
It's okay.
The moment when Soup shows up, and you get the combination of Mad Max and Superman theme, I'm like, what is going on? There's this like rock thunder going on in the background, and then that Man of Steel weaves in. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, I need this on vinyl. Like, I need this on vinyl. Like, that's how I
the score. The score is great. Like I said, I don't quite. I think it's even. I'm not gonna put it ahead of BVS because that score is top. Like I said, top shelf.
No, this is better.
This one's right there.
This is better than BVS.
I need to listen to it. I need to listen to it a little bit more. I need to listen to it right now.
The win. There's like 50 more scores in this one than BVS.
It is. Listen, you guys. Man, y'all gotta listen to that BVS score, start to finish again, man. I'm telling you, that score is stellar. But this one's right there. This one's right there with it.
I will say the one thing that made me laugh is the fact that like nothing at this point phases Bruce Wayne and Alfred. Right. Like nothing phases them anymore. Like including the end. Yeah, there's a lot, including the end when Martian Manhunter shows up. Batman's just like, yeah, okay.
He goes, he just goes, and who are you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, well, who knows what this Batman's been fighting for all these years?
Yeah.
Well, Gio, you mentioned this. Apparently, Zack Snyder wanted that to be a lantern, Green Lantern, and they were
going to be Kilowog, and I can't remember the other one.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So he didn't. I don't think he knew what that was going to be. It was going to be Martian Manhunter or Lantern.
I'm glad that it was. I'm happier that it was Manhunter.
I'm talking about Ben Affleck. Did Affleck know? I don't think Affleck knew what that was going to be.
No, well, the original plan was that, but Warner Brothers is like, no, don't touch that. We're going to use it for this movie or this project.
To be fair, though, Gio, I think it worked better that it was Superman.
Yeah, it worked better than it was Manhunter. That was Manhunter.
Oh, you mean Manhunter?
Oh, sorry. Yes. I think it worked better in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm not. Would I have loved a Green Lantern? I'm never going to turn down a Green Lantern. They're my favorite. But in this situation, it worked perfectly because he was a looming character. Like when he went to see Lois, and so he's there, and then he shows up at the end. It's not like some
just two random Green Lanterns.
Well, and just a little history, and I go back to this a lot, but that's exactly how the character was in Smallville. He sat back for a lot of years as his human form, and then when Clark needed him the most in the show, he showed up as Manhunter. And it's kind of similar here, right? He's seeing what's happening with Darkseid and what's happening. He's like, okay, I can't stand back any longer.
Yeah,
and for me, it worked out great.
I think so too.
I thought it made more sense with the dialogue that was said as well. Like, how he had said, like, I've been, sitting by for so long and now I'm needed. I'm here. And also I thought he looked incredible.
Yep. He looked great.
That's really good. Yeah. I know. Yeah. That's good. That's the same thing, Jake. Yeah. I know in Smallville, I think he was friends with Jor-El, I think. And he
had been watching over Clark essentially for his entire life as John Jones. And, and then when Clark needed him the most, he popped up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was well done. Well done.
Jake,
you guys want to?
You already.
Go ahead. Oh, no,
go ahead, Jake.
I was just saying, you guys want to tackle? You guys want to tackle that ending? Do we want to get to the?
That should probably be the last thing we talk about. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say something blasphemous. I didn't like it.
What?
I didn't like the nightmare ending.
Why not?
I'm kind of 50-50 on it, to be honest.
If you go back and look, I was so excited to see Leto's Joker. Like, I was like, yes, I think he deserves more. I actually didn't really like his Joker.
What?
I know. It almost like, it's funny because I'm almost kind of like, I feel like there's something wrong with me for not liking it. No. So where like I want to rewatch it just for that. I did not care for that ending. I know.
He's talking to Batman and he's like, "Oh, we can happily have that discussion about why you sent the boy one." Wow, I know it. Like, wow.
So real quick, do you guys? And I know. So Gio, you stay quiet on this one, but do you guys know where that was shot?
Yeah, I heard.
That was shot in Snyder's backyard.
Wow.
And they all did it separately, right?
Yeah.
I think
they were all placed
because Warner Brothers said no additional photography
He shot it. He shot it in his garden. They said his garden. That's where he shot it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I will say this.
And it was
okay. As a fan, of course, I geeked out. I was like, wow, like this is kind of cool. But overall, connected to the movie, I thought to myself, there might have been a better ending because it might not ever come to fruition. And I know that I'm again, I know a lot of people like this nightmare scene's incredible. I love seeing Deathstroke and Batman together. The fact that the possibility of seeing Affleck versus Manganiello gets me so excited. Like I've wanted to see Batman versus Deathstroke for years, and seeing the Flash in his suit and seeing more Mira always gets me stoked. But when I think of it,
I kind of wish Mira would have been Ocean Master.
No, I thought it worked out better that it was Mira. It worked out better that it was Mira because she's at that point she's.
Well, this was supposed to come out before Aquaman. We hadn't met Ocean Master yet.
Yeah, and
that would have been cool though. I love Patrick Wilson.
Plus, you got to put a female in there, Brian. Come on.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think I just like his costume.
So I'm like kind of.
He wouldn't have been in his costume. He wouldn't have been in that whole thing.
I'm kind of with you, Jake, to be honest, because and look, I don't want to judge the movie like, oh, we're not ever going to see this again, because he still made the movie with his vision. Like he planned this scene all along is what I heard, but he changed elements. Like I heard that Deathstroke was supposed to be a Deadshot and that Joker was never supposed to be part of that scene in the original plans. But as a scene, it's fun, but I don't understand why they don't communicate to us that this is a Elseworld, this is a vision or a dream or anything like that until Bruce Wayne wakes up or whatever.
It's just like a sudden, like
the first nightmare scene, we see Cyborg, he's like having a vision of what the world could be, right? So you know what's going on. This, it cuts from the Luthor boat scene to this. So you would, as an audience member, you would be forgiven to think that it's just a continuation of the real reality. They don't do anything to indicate that it's not in the real reality. So it's like confusing. But then, Brian, when I saw the footage of Joker in the trailer, I was like, oh, cool, this is going to be awesome. And I was like, wasn't as awesome as I thought. But overall, still a really cool scene. Like,
Flash, I feel so bad. We've been making Gio so happy.
Well,
and then
we have the right to give our opinions.
No, I'm not upset at all that anybody's giving their opinion.
Just saying, like,
not at all.
I will say this. I will say this, and real quick. Jimmy always coming in, man. Jimmy, thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Jimmy, thank
okay,
you.
I see that new profile picture.
I will say this. If I knew for a fact we were getting a sequel, I would be fucking jazzed about this scene.
Oh, yeah.
It leaves me on such a sour note knowing that more than likely we will never see that happen. That we'll never see that happen. And now knowing what the real plans were for Snyder's story through the three movies, like the third movie was supposed to be an entire nightmare movie. Like
pretty much.
Now I'm
Injustice.
like, well, why the F even put that in there?
Well,
why?
Snyder is smarter than people give him credit for. Like this was not a part of the 2016 footage, so he intentionally did that to tease everybody and to put Warner Brothers in a difficult position.
Hey.
He was banking on himself.
I agree.
People like this movie, and now
I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Honestly,
I want more Dark Side.
But let me tell you, like,
I was pretty bummed that there wasn't a lot of Dark Side. But move on.
Well,
I think.
okay.
I agree. I think we will see more. I was just gonna say, having watched it again. Listen, Jared Leto, he's an annoying person. All right,
He's a great Joker.
He's an annoying person, though.
But he's a great Joker.
Apparently, so I heard some of that was all improvised. So, or what do you call it? The ad-libbed all those lines. And you can tell, like some of it was like, what do you like the reach around joke? And
yes, that's what threw me out.
And the Mara lines, he kept dissing Mara. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, so I can see. I loved the scene. I like him. He was cool. He does the classic, Bat, you won't kill me, you need me, like that, which I thought was great. But there, like I said, watching it again, there are a couple parts I picked out where I'm like, okay, he's being Jared Leto annoying like just saying weird stuff, and it's like, all right, man. Yeah, kind of roll my eyes a little bit, but I still I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I love
the
that last
stuff
scene.
about like his mom and his dad and his adopted son, and then about Harley Quinn, that stuff was good. Like
Well,
the
yeah,
actual-
Harley Quinn was
you're
good.
saying like what
Yeah.
have you ever lost that
The
you've loved?
personal
and then he
stuff
comes in
was
and
good.
says he lost his parents.
Mhm.
You know, he
Right.
lost Robin, which like obviously, duh.
Where was that scene, by the way?
That was supposed to be in the sequel, Brian.
No, Snyder
Ah.
said the next movie will feature a scene where
Of them
they're-
fighting,
the what?
Mm.
of Joker and Robin fighting.
Yes, they're gonna have what's called like a Last Supper because they're gonna go after the mother boxes, and the Joker's gonna tell, and you're gonna see it like restore the Snyderverse. Come on, guys, restore the Snyderverse. Let's do it.
Real
Let
quick,
Snyder
I do
cook.
want to bring this up because this is something that was on my mind. I thought this was the perfect use of this.
Yes,
I thought it was the perfect use
Yes.
of this.
make no mistake, I will f***ing kill you. Oh, yes.
But Batman doesn't swear.
So what is
This
his plan?
I'm
They
kidding.
just
I'm
need
kidding.
they just need all the help they can get, and then once they accomplish their mission, he just kills Joker right after.
Yeah.
I guess.
I
so.
mean,
At this point, yeah, may as well.
and that means, I mean, of course, but that means if that really happened, Deathstroke put aside their differences. Like, obviously, we have to work together now because,
Of
like,
course.
the fate of the universe is at stake.
But
That
remember,
happens in
pretty cool.
Injustice.
but remember, Deathstroke is essentially a hired gun who hates Batman. They can put aside their differences a lot better
Oh yeah,
than someone like Joker or Batman can.
Well, it happens in Injustice. Like a bunch of villains and stuff. Actually,
well, they
wound
would
up
have
working
to. What
with-
choice do they have, right?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, not to mention you're going to see you have to watch Wonder Woman and Aquaman die.
Which would be so tragic.
Man,
That
We
would
kind
Wonder
of did
Woman,
see
I wonder
Wonder
how that
Woman
happened.
die.
It's kind of ironic that the two characters that they're going to keep using for sure would be the ones that Zack Snyder's going to kill.
Oh, that's all on purpose, Brian. Come on.
It's just kind of funny, ironic how like I just yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I know that we didn't get to everything, guys. I know that's a 4-hour movie, but we are coming up on our time here on now. Just before you all leave, let you guys know we are planning to do a watch along of this movie at some point. We are. We might give it a few weeks to maybe sit back a little bit and then review it again together as a group. And that might, have us clamoring to talk about it a little bit more because there's obviously stuff that we have not covered. But hopefully for tonight, we covered as much as we possibly could for you guys in the hour and a half we had for the show. But I'm going to let the crew real quick just kind of mention anything very quickly they had that maybe they didn't get to mention before we head out of here. We'll just go around the table real quick. Keith, I'm going to start with you. Is there anything that you just want to say quickly about the movie? Maybe a wrap-up thought or anything?
Loved it. I'm a Snyder bro now. I'm fully on board. Let Snyder cook. It's when the hashtag. I'm getting going. No, I really, you guys know I was the last person out of the 5 of us that cared about this movie, and I absolutely loved it. So, okay, maybe might have been between me and you, Jake. I don't know, but listen, I thought it was great. I really did. I really loved it. It's just a fascinating story. I wish we can get the whole story of what happened and why, because there seemed like there could have been a nice 2-hour, 220 version that could have come out of this movie. Who knows? But I'm glad we got this. So that was great.
Brian?
Yeah, I really, really, really liked it. Like, I'm definitely gonna buy it if it comes out on any form of physical.
May 18th.
Perfect. That's fast. Crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. I definitely want to see more of it. Like, obviously, my biggest thing is like, I hope people like understand like that because of the struggle they got 4 hours. Like, we wouldn't have gotten this whole thing in a theater right away. There's no way. You can't. No one's gonna. If you're saying you would have gotten all 4, so it's almost kind of like genius in a way if they were to do the sequel, to do it the exact same way. This HBO Max releasing it, give them another 4 hours. I'd be down to sit. Like, I watched the whole thing at one time at 12 in the morning till 4 in the morning. The sun was freaking coming out when I was waking up or going to bed. So I mean, it's funny because like, would I like to see it in theaters? Yeah, it would be probably cool. But I actually really enjoyed it sitting at home, kind of just chilling, watching it.
Mhm.
I actually really dug the breakup of it in parts, even though it like meant nothing. Like I kind of liked that it did that instead of just this constant like timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, very happy for the people that have been struggling, hoping to see this movie and knowing what it could be. Because I mean, hell, I haven't heard any bad things about it. No one I've talked to has said bad that they didn't like it. So clearly it worked out great. And I'm very happy for those people that really wanted this and glad that they got what they wanted and more from it. So, yeah.
Gio, Brian cut into your time, so you have 90 seconds.
Oh, stop it.
All right. First off, I want to give a shout out to Zhang Kai, who played Ryan Choi. Great job. I wish
He was
we-
pretty funny.
The Atom.
The Atom, yep.
The Atom. Yep. He was great. Let's see. 90 seconds. You know, thinking about what Zack Snyder and Debbie Snyder went through. First off, working with a studio like Warner Brothers, who every day it seems like there's more stories coming out about how difficult they are. And then to have the personal tragedy and then leave this project and then the theatrical version come out and then Zack Snyder and Debbie get so much unfair hate and criticism. And for them to be able to make this movie and for it to come out and then later on Army of the Dead, like what a year for these two. I couldn't be any more happier for them. I couldn't be any more happier for the cast and crew. That this movie is getting the love and praise that it deserves because the true original version is coming out. And yeah, this might be the last one. This might not ever go anywhere. This might be the cul-de-sac or whatever. But you know what? For me and others, this is going to be a movie that we're going to cherish for the rest of our lives because this is unprecedented. This sort of thing does not happen. And the fact that more people are liking it, loving it, is like music to our ears. So we're obviously going to push Warner Brothers to reconsider, to do an HBO Max something, follow up. But for now, I am so appreciative of this movie. I'm glad everyone likes it, or at least gave it a chance, found some entertainment out of it. Now it's clear more than ever that this DCEU, this mix-up was not because of Zack Snyder. Okay, it's because of the studio and the executives, and them having no clue what they're doing. And it'll be interesting to see in the coming weeks what happens. But I'll keep my eye on that, and I'll be sure to bring it up on random times during this podcast.
Wow, you're lucky I gave you more than 90 seconds for that one.
The ultimate thing is let directors make their movies.
We've been having this conversation for so long, and look what people still keep doing.
It blows my mind that we're still at this phase where it's let directors make the movies.
Yeah, and look, I don't like doing the comparison, but like, look what some things that Marvel does, right? They bring in these wacky directors who let them do the movies. I want Zack Snyder to be able to tell his visions. Because his visions are creative, they're unique compared to other directors.
If it's a proven director like a Zack Snyder, let him do his thing. Yeah,
like, just let him direct.
He's telling a story. He's not putting out something to make money for
Netflix. You have billions and billions of dollars. Buy DC so you can do the Snyderverse.
Zack Snyder's X-Men. Yes,
we'll see. Jacob, what about you?
With that,
I'll make this quick. So it just makes me happy that this movie's out there and exists, because if it never happened, it would have just not felt right. It feels right that he got to complete this movie. And to me, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like I've watched it 3 times already, and I'm going to watch it again. Like there's movies that I watched once.
How much time during the day do you guys have?
God, you guys have no lives.
What the hell?
Wow.
Well,
I'm just getting started.
I
5
know.
times.
I understand. I understand.
well, I'll be
So is
honest.
he.
It's other than the first time, it's been broken up. Like I'll watch like an
Still.
hour and a
same here.
half, and then I'll watch an hour and a half when I go to bed. I'll watch 2 hours like
It
earlier
takes you an
today.
hour and a half to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Longer than that sometimes. But
This guy
basically,
got
I'm
it.
just glad it's here. And it's like if I didn't like it that much, then I wouldn't be like wanting to watch it again, and telling other people to watch
Right.
it. So that's a good sign. And it wasn't perfect, but I really enjoyed it. And it makes me sad that we might not see it continue because like they would, it was going in the direction of non-traditional like blockbuster storytelling in a way. You're going to turn your biggest, brightest Superman character into the villain and have everybody scared of him. And it's like, that was ballsy. And I'm just glad this movie exists. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's I mean, look, I think that quite frankly, there was no better movie to come out during the pandemic struggle we've had than the Snyder Cut. Because it as one's podcast is titled, it united a fandom. It united a fandom and in a struggle of years of debates and conversations about other movies and what had happened with the 2017 movie, obviously. It is undoubtedly a success, both as far as the film itself, financially. It's bringing a success to Warner Brothers. It's bringing a success to DC again after their struggles with this property. And that's a good thing. It's jam-packed with stuff. It's a lot to handle sometimes, but it's a 4 hours that is definitely worth it. I know that for all of us, I can probably speak that we all recommend seeing it if you have not seen it. If you're sitting here watching this and have not seen it, what are you doing?
It's a what is our old thing?
It's a see it.
See it, skip it, or
It's a see it or save it. We're seeing it. We're seeing
see it. Yeah.
And I'll leave on this note. I'll just wrap mine up quickly. And this one's for Gio. Restore the Snyderverse. Restore the Snyderverse.
I'm down.
Give him at least a Justice League movie to follow up with what he just did, because how are you going to leave your fans off of a cliffhanger and then they're going to come after you, Warner Brothers? You guys got a long time coming. You guys got a long time. All right, let's wrap this up. I know we went a little over time tonight, but we're going to do some quick plugs around the show real quick. Jacob, I'm going right back to you. Quick plugs, where they can find you online, man.
Yes, well, you can find me on Twitter at JacobBardley824 if you want to hear my thoughts on things. I also do a Power Rangers podcast called Off the Grid, a Power Rangers podcast. I review all the comics and the current Dino Fury show going on right now. And I also, if anybody plays fantasy football out there, doing a lot of coverage for that at First Round Fantasy. You can find that on YouTube.
Busy man.
Gio?
you have a lot of free time, sir.
Yeah, school's over, forever.
Yeah, hey, look, guys. This is the most fun review and most exciting review that I've been looking forward to, honestly. And I'm glad to hear what I've heard tonight. If you guys want to continue the conversation as far as DC and join me on the fight to restore the Snyderverse, come join me on the Fandom United YouTube channel. That's right. It's all about restoring the Snyderverse now. We released the Snyder Cut. It's out there. People are loving it. And now the journey begins again with restoring the Snyderverse. So let's do it.
And Mr. Avellino.
I am on Twitter at Biavolosino and also on A Certain Point of View.
And Mr. Keith Barnes.
Oh, thank you.
I am on Twitter at Keith Barnes 79, and I'm gonna refer you back to Gio's Fandom United. He and I talked about this movie for well over about 2 hours and 10, 14 minutes, something like that. We had a nice
room for more
conversation. Jacob was in that with us, so it was a lot of fun. So, and there's plenty more to go, like we talked about. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, you can find me on there.
Congratulations, good sir.
Congrats, Gio. Also, Jacob's first round in our clubs too.
Yeah. All thanks to the Snyder Cut.
None of us has been on there. None of us has been on there.
All right, you can find me at Qui-Gon Jake 2 Ends because someone else took it before I did. Apocaflix Movies on Twitter, right above Gio. Guys, also, if you're a Marvel fan, I know that we're talking DC, but if you're a Marvel fan, every Friday at 4:00 we do the Marvel Rewind, and we are currently doing the Falcon and the Winter Soldier reviews. We do them live at 4 p.m. Pacific every Friday. breaking down spoiler discussions for those episodes. We also do some Star Wars stuff, but that's not coming until May. So you'll see the Falcon and the Winter Soldier right now. Join us every Friday right there for Marvel Rewind. Would really love to hear you guys' thoughts on those episodes, get some spoiler talk in there with questions, stuff like that. I'm also on a certain point of view with Brian, and then I also do my own little show off the side called The Whiskey Jedi. And I talk whiskey and I do Star Wars. Talk whiskey and do Star Wars. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun if you're interested in that type of stuff. If you're 21 and older, of course, drinking. Would love to have you guys over there joining me doing some Whiskey Jedi stuff. All right, that's going to wrap up everything for Apocaflix tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. For the whole crew here, we greatly appreciate the time you spent with us. We love having you guys each week. Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Go
ahead, finish.
No, go ahead.
No, don't finish what you were saying.
No, because I like to wrap up and end the show. Go ahead.
I was going to say Gio should have the last word on this one. I was going to say Gio gets the last word on this one. His little hashtag.
Oh, well,
yes.
Okay, I'll wrap up real quick. Hold on. Okay, I understand. Yeah. Apocaflix now every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on the channel. Join us every week as we talk movies, do castings and fantasy drafts and all that type of stuff, and I'll, of course, talk to you guys. So, with that said, Mr. Ramos, the floor is yours, sir.
Get on Twitter, #restore the Snyderverse.
There, guys.